It started with a transmission, one that shouldn't have reached me. I was working off duty, hidden deep in the engine belly of the cargo freighter *Dustbone*, running diagnostics nobody cared about. The crew thought I was avoiding dinner duty. I was. I hated the smell of canned mushrooms. But that wasn't the point. The point was, I intercepted something. An old-world frequency. Analog, faint, buried in distortion. My curiosity got the better of me. I ran it through the filters, straightened the noise, and a weak voice emerged. A woman. Human. Pain in her tone. Crash, survivor. Need help, broken leg, alone. That should have been impossible. We were deep in the gamma fringes, an abandoned slice of nowhere. No colonies. No satellites. Nothing. I didn't report it. Instead, I tracked it. Her beacon was 5 clicks away on a moon designated X49C, a mining rock that had been stripped and forgotten a century ago. I stole a dropship. I told myself it was a test flight. I told myself I wasn't doing anything heroic. I'd drop in, maybe find a broken transmitter, and be back before anyone noticed. That's what I believed until I saw the smoke trail slicing through the grey sky of X49C. And then, I saw the wreckage. A small escape pod, scorched and twisted. The impact trench stretched long and deep like a wound. I landed nearby, unstrapped, and ran. She was lying against a rock, her leg bent in a way that made my gut churn. She held a piece of metal in one hand, sharp and bloody. Her eyes were sunken, lips cracked. She was still alive. Barely. "You're real," she whispered. "Yeah. I'm real," I said, kneeling beside her. "You called." I answered. "I thought I was hallucinating." "Let's keep it that way. I need to set your leg." She winced, nodded slowly. I grabbed the emergency medpack from my belt. I've never set a bone before. Not in a living person. But adrenaline makes you confident. Or reckless. I braced her femur, found the break with my fingers. She clenched her jaw. I positioned a splint and looked into her eyes. "This'll hurt. Do it." I did. She screamed. Then her hand shot up and clamped onto mine, tight, desperate, trembling. And she didn't let go. Not for 5 minutes. Not for 10. Not even when the bone clicked into place. She kept her grip. Like I was the only thing anchoring her to this world. "My name's Lena," she finally whispered. "Rhett," I said. "Let's get you out of here." But that's when everything went sideways. The scanner blinked red. Movement big, fast, closing in. I looked up. Dust clouds rolled over the ridge. Something massive moved behind them. "What is that?" Lena asked. I didn't answer. Because I didn't know. We hobbled to the dropship, her arm over my shoulder, her limp heavy, her breath shaky. The dust storm was coming fast. The ship was 30 meters away when a shriek tore the sky. I froze. So did she. A shape burst through the haze, 7 feet tall, insectoid, armored in jagged plates that shimmered blue. It moved like it knew the terrain, like it hunted here often. And it was heading straight for us. Inside. Now. I dragged her into the ship, slammed the hatch shut, and hit the emergency thrusters. The ship lurched, almost tilted sideways, then lifted. Barely. I caught a glimpse of the thing as we ascended, huge, claws glowing, eyes like burning holes. It didn't flinch at the thruster flame. Lena collapsed into the seat beside me. Her chest heaved. Her hand was still wrapped around mine. "I didn't think I'd make it," she said. I didn't reply. My mind was on that creature. Because it wasn't natural. Nothing evolves to look like that. Which meant someone made it. Or bred it. Or left it behind. Back on the *Dustbone*, I hid her. You don't just bring a stowaway onto a company freighter. But she didn't want to report her identity anyway. "I escaped from a lab," she said, one night, whispering through pain. "A Terran-controlled facility. Deep space genetics. I was a test subject. They called me Prototype 11. My blood chilled. You're enhanced." "No. I'm ruined." She showed me the scar behind her neck, a long, clean cut that glowed faint green. There's something inside me. They said it makes me stable. I think it makes me traceable. I paced the med bay, heart racing. That creature, was it part of the same experiment? They called them sentinels. They let them out when subjects tried to escape. I sat down, staring at the floor. So they'll come looking. They always do. She fell asleep holding my hand. And still didn't let go. The next few days passed in a fog. I kept her hidden, forged medical logs, distracted the crew when needed. She healed fast, too fast. Bones don't knit overnight. But hers did. I asked her about it. She just smiled sadly. It's not a gift. I didn't push. One night, while checking the nav systems, I got another transmission. Same frequency. Different voice. This is Commander Halvik of the Terran Authority. You are harboring a fugitive. Surrender her, and no harm will come to your ship. I killed the transmission. My heart thundered. She was asleep in my quarters, curled up, small and silent. She looked peaceful for once. I didn't want to lose her. But I knew we were running out of time. So I made a plan. I faked a hull breach. I staged a distress call to a backwater moon I knew no one monitored. I prepped the escape pod for 2. When she woke up, I told her everything. She didn't speak for a long time. Just stared at me with wide, unblinking eyes. You do that for me. I already did. Now let's go. She didn't let go of my hand the whole trip down. But someone was already waiting on that moon. And they didn't come in peace. To be continued in Section 2. I knew the second the pod touched down that something wasn't right. The air smelled too clean, too still. And Lena, she stiffened the moment we stepped out. Her grip on my hand tightened like a warning. The clearing looked deserted. An old mining outpost stood in ruins a few hundred meters away, rusted panels half swallowed by ash-colored weeds. I'd chosen this place because it was supposed to be dead. But someone had beaten us here. Stay low, I whispered. We crept behind a twisted metal girder that once held solar panels. Then we saw them. 2 black-clad figures moving near the outpost, rifles slung low, helmets smooth and faceless. Gene Authority. I felt Lena's breath catch. She squeezed my hand so tightly it ached. They brought hunters, she whispered. Those aren't just soldiers. I remembered stories about them, enhanced agents, modified for speed and pain resistance, trained to kill anyone who ran from the Authority. What do they want with you? I asked. They don't want me, she said. They want what's inside me. Before I could ask, a sharp metallic cry echoed through the valley. My stomach turned. I recognized that sound. The sentinel. We need to move. Now. We ducked through a crack in the outpost wall. Dust choked the air. The roof was partially collapsed. Lena limped beside me, her face pale but focused. She pointed to a maintenance shaft in the floor. There's a lower level. We can hide there. I pried the cover off and helped her descend. The air below was cold, stale. Dim yellow lights flickered to life as we stepped into the corridor. I shut the hatch behind us, just as footsteps echoed above. The agents were close. We moved through the narrow tunnel, our steps quiet but urgent. Lena guided us like she'd been here before. Maybe she had. Or maybe her instincts had been sharpened by all the running. What's inside you? I asked again. She didn't speak for a long time. Then, in a whisper, a genome lock. Designed to override natural DNA. It adapts, replicates. Could cure anything or destroy everything. My brain couldn't quite process that. You mean like, diseases? Not just that. It can rewrite species. The Authority doesn't want cures. They want control. A distant crash echoed above. The sentinel had arrived. Suddenly, the lights cut out. Total black. I pulled Lena close. Her hand found my chest. I could feel her heart hammering. They'll find us, she said. They always do. Not if we trap them first. We found an old server room. The tech was dead, but the layout was perfect, a maze of blind corners and tight choke points. I guided Lena into a corner and handed her a broken pipe. If anything comes close, Swing. She tried to smile. Romantic. Shut up and stay quiet. I rigged 2 makeshift traps from rusted wires and hydraulic tubing. Then I waited. The minutes dragged. My pulse echoed in my ears. Then came the sound of boots. I held my breath. A figure stepped into view. Not a soldier. The sentinel. It ducked low to sniff the air. Its claws scraped along the metal floor. I could see green ooze dripping from its mandibles. I hurled a rock across the corridor. It turned. Stepped into the first trap. The explosion was small but loud enough to rattle the walls. I grabbed Lena and ran. The tunnel behind us filled with shrieks and static. We burst out of the shaft into daylight, covered in dust. A black transport ship hovered just beyond the ridge. Lena's voice cracked. "We can't outrun them." "No," I said. "But we can disappear." I activated the emergency flare. A gamble. But maybe, just maybe, someone else was listening. And someone was. A ripple split the sky. A cloaked vessel, not Terran, appeared overhead. Sleek, dark silver. Alien. Lena's eyes widened. "That's not human tech." Before I could answer, a light scanned over us. The sentinel roared behind us, but the alien ship responded faster. A pulse beam ripped through the air and vaporized it. A hatch opened. We were lifted aboard. Inside, the ship was quiet. Cool. Sterile. Light hummed softly in the walls. No crew in sight. Autopilot? I guessed. Lena sank into a seat, shaking. "This ship, it's not Authority. But I've seen it before. During testing. They were using alien designs. So this isn't a rescue. It's another lab." "I don't know." We barely had time to think. A voice echoed from the walls, genderless, calm. "Passenger identified. Genome carrier detected. Protection protocol initiated." "Wait," I said. "You're helping her?" This ship was programmed to extract and preserve Prototype 11 in the event of critical breach. Lena looked at me. I didn't think anything like this still existed. "What now?" I asked. "Destination, coordinates classified. Estimated arrival, 16 hours. I slumped beside her. "We're not out of the woods." "No," she agreed. "But we're not dead either." She rested her head against my shoulder. Her hand slid back into mine. She still wouldn't let go. And deep down, I didn't want her to. 6 hours later, the ship's lights dimmed. The voice returned. "Hostile contact detected. Pursuers, 3 Terran vessels. Can you outrun them?" I asked. "Negative. Evasive action insufficient. Defensive measures required." The ship shuddered. We were being hit. I rushed to a console. No weapons. No shields. Just speed. Then Lena stood. "Let me try." "What?" "I think I can link with the interface. My genome, it's not just a tracker. It's a key." I hesitated. "You sure?" "No. But we don't have a choice." She placed her palm against the console. It glowed. The ship responded. Panels opened. Hidden weapons extended. Shields flared to life. The pursuing ships banked hard, but it was too late. In seconds, they were torn apart. I stared at her. "You're more than just a prototype." She looked at me, eyes heavy with memory. I used to think being made meant I wasn't real. But now I know I'm something they couldn't control. We flew in silence after that. Toward something unknown. Something possibly safer. Something more than just survival. And her hand still didn't let go. To be continued in Section 3. We landed in darkness. The stars were gone. The sky looked like ink, too still to be real. The alien vessel settled onto a surface that didn't feel like metal or rock, but something in between. Soft but stable. Almost like skin. And the moment the hatch opened, I smelled it. Ozone. And memory. Lena gripped my hand tighter. "I know this place," she whispered. We stepped out. The ground pulsed beneath our feet like it was breathing. Smooth towers jutted from the landscape, lit by internal veins of blue light. Everything was humming. Not noise, something lower. A frequency I could feel in my teeth. Where are we? I asked. Lena's eyes scanned the horizon. This was the fallback site. Alpha 0. A black site. Hidden from Authority grids. The ship sealed behind us and vanished. Cloaked again or gone. Either way, we were on our own. A soft light guided us forward. It wasn't natural. It knew where to take us. We followed it into one of the towers. Inside, the walls shimmered like water but held firm. Symbols lit up as we passed alien language, yes, but Lena seemed to understand them. Or at least recognize them. They built this place for us, she said. For people like me. People the Authority couldn't control? Exactly. We entered a chamber at the heart of the tower. It was circular, filled with panels and screens. A chair sat in the center, designed for a body larger than ours. Before we could inspect it, a figure stepped from the shadows. Not human. But not threatening either. It was tall, thin, cloaked in flowing silver fabric. Its face was hidden by a mask etched with glowing lines. Lena, it said, in a voice like wind over glass. She froze. You know me. You are the last of the 11s. The only one who made it past the gates. I don't understand. The figure nodded. Come. There's much you were never told. We followed it into a deeper room. There, holograms flickered to life, scenes from before Lena's escape. Experiments. Training. Escapes. Executions. You were not built to obey, the figure said. You were built to question. That was your purpose. And your curse. But why? Lena's voice cracked. Why make us if they wanted to destroy us? Because they feared your freedom. I stepped forward. So this place, what is it? A sanctuary? A vault, the figure said. To preserve what might outlive control. And now, it's active again. Because of her. Lena stared at her hands. I thought I was broken. You are evolving. The lights in the chamber shifted. Symbols pulsed. A console lit up. Place your hand, the figure instructed. Lena hesitated. I touched her shoulder. She looked at me, uncertain. I nodded. She stepped forward. Placed her palm on the surface. The room came alive. Light surged around her. The console wrapped tendrils of data around her wrist. Her body convulsed, but didn't collapse. Her eyes glowed bright white. The figure stepped back. I tried to rush forward, but the same light held me still. Then it stopped. She fell to her knees. I caught her. What happened? I asked. She's no longer just Lena, the figure said. She's the key to this place now. Its guardian. I looked down at her. She was breathing hard, but her eyes were clear. A new clarity. Power, but focused. I can see things, she whispered. Code. Networks. Plans. I can feel the sentinels. I can control them. My heart pounded. What do you mean control? They were made from the same architecture, she said. I'm upstream now. I can override their orders. The figure turned to me. The Authority will come. Now that she's activated the vault, they'll detect it. You have hours, at best. Then we fight. I asked. You run, the figure said. This place is not a fortress. It's a seed. Take her. Go. Spread what she knows. But she just got here. She's not meant to stay. Not yet. She's meant to disrupt. I helped Lena to her feet. She was trembling, not from weakness but from awakening. I'm scared, she said softly. I know. But you've got me. She squeezed my hand. For the first time, she smiled. We're not just running this time, she said. We're taking something with us. We left the tower under shadow. A small vessel waited, one clearly older than the sleek one before, but still spaceworthy. As we prepared for launch, the ground rumbled. 3 Authority ships broke through the clouds. They're early, I muttered. They're desperate, Lena replied. Her eyes were glowing again. Let's show them what they're afraid of. As the ship lifted, she interfaced with the controls again. She was quicker this time. More confident. We shot upward, and the sentinels met us in the sky. But not to attack. To defend. 5 of them flanked us, eyes red, claws gleaming. Authority ships opened fire, but the sentinels intercepted. Ripping hulls apart. Disabling engines. No mercy. They listened to you, I said, stunned. They belong to me, she said. And I won't let them be used anymore. The escape was brutal. The last ship clipped our wing, but we broke atmosphere. The sentinels didn't follow. They stayed behind. Guardians now. Unleashed. We were alone again, hurtling into deep space. But this time, we had purpose. And her hand. Still hadn't let go. To be continued in Section 4. The stars had never looked so alive. We drifted through open space, our small vessel skimming past dying comets and old debris fields, far from any trade routes or authority patrols. The quiet was different now, not a fearsome silence, but a calm before something new. Lena sat beside me in the cockpit, staring at the nav screen, eyes no longer glowing but sharp. Focused. Human. What's next? I asked, voice low. She looked at me. We find others. Others like you? She nodded. There were dozens of prototypes. 11s, 9s, even the failed 4s. Scattered. Forgotten. But I can feel them now. Through the code. Some are alive. Hiding. Waiting. And you think they'll trust us? She gave a small, tired laugh. They don't have to. They just need to know they're not alone. I looked at her hand, still wrapped around mine. Always. Even when she slept, even when she dreamt of labs and monsters and needles. We were far from safe, but there was something in the way she sat now, upright and certain, that made me believe we were on the right path. She was no longer running from who she was. She was running toward something better. We landed on a neutral moon called Tether 9. Sparse population, mostly traders and broken machines. The kind of place no one asked questions. We rented a corner of a broken hangar. I repaired the comms array while Lena modified the ship with parts one didn't recognize. She was building something. Something bigger than just an escape vessel. One night, while I was asleep, she sent out a signal. Encrypted. Subtle. But it carried her genome code. Not as bait. As a beacon. 2 weeks passed. Then, a knock on the hangar door. A girl stood outside, barefoot, eyes haunted, with scars that matched Lena's. Behind her, 3 others. One missing an arm. One covered in burns. One no older than 12. They didn't speak. They just stepped inside and stared at Lena. And she opened her arms. They didn't hesitate. The weeks that followed were chaotic. The Authority knew something had changed. Their patrols thickened. Comms channels buzzed with coded warnings. But Lena was ahead of them now. Always. She trained the others. Taught them how to hide, how to fight, how to rebuild what had been taken from them. I watched her become something more than a fugitive. She became a leader. The ship became a mobile haven. We called it the Ember Star. It flickered, it moved, it adapted. Just like her. More found us. One by one. Some scared. Some broken. Some dangerous. But Lena welcomed them all. Not as soldiers. As people. Because she remembered what it was like to be seen as nothing more than a number. One night, under the flickering stars of an abandoned system, we sat together, just the 2 of us. The others were asleep. She leaned against me, eyes half-lidded. "Do you think we're making a difference?" she asked. I looked out at the horizon. "We're not saving the galaxy. But we're saving each other." She nodded. Then, quietly, "I used to think I was made for destruction. That I was a mistake." "You were never a mistake." "I know that now," she said. "Because of you." Her grip on my hand tightened again. "You didn't let go." "I never wanted to." "I was terrified," she whispered. "In that crater. In the dark. I thought no one would come. I'd die with this thing inside me, buried and forgotten. But you didn't." "No," she said. "Because you came." Silence passed between us. The stars blinked like slow heartbeats. Then she turned to me. If we ever get separated, I want you to keep going. Keep finding them. Keep helping. I nodded. Only if you promise the same. She smiled. Deal. The war never came the way we feared. There was no grand invasion, no burning cities. The Authority wasn't prepared for a quiet rebellion made of kindness, rescue, and knowledge. Lena's signal spread. Not as a threat, but as a truth. The Authority couldn't suppress the existence of the 11s anymore. And with every new survivor, their grip weakened. The Ember became legend. A ghost ship with a fire-haired girl and her human companion, rescuing the forgotten. And me. I never stopped flying beside her. Because when she held my hand that first day, bloody, broken, terrified, I thought I was saving her. But the truth is, she saved me too. Moral. True strength isn't about power or perfection. It's about choosing to protect, to connect, and to believe when all hope seems lost. Even in the darkest places, the smallest gesture, a hand held tight, can be the light someone needs to rise again. What we build together, out of pain and trust, can shape a future far better than the past we ran from. The end.